Okay, so now let's take what we've just learned about Venn diagrams and how we can use these Venn diagrams to solve problems and actually apply it, which is really fun and exciting. So let's look at an actual problem where we can apply this to a real world situation. Okay, so with these types of problems, we're going to see that working backwards is a really great strategy, just like we saw in the previous video. But it might look a little different or feel a little different. We might have to jump around and sort of work with different pieces as we work backwards. So let's jump in and take a look. There are 71 students in the travel club. So that means in my universe here in this blue rectangle, my universe is students in the travel club, okay? So there's 71 of them. So the number of students in my universe is 71. That's what we're saying, okay? They discovered that 37 members have visited country A. So in my set A here, it's representing country A, there's going to be a total of 37 students, all right? Oops, sorry about that. Okay, 34 have visited country B. So in this set here, there's going to be a total of 34. Okay, 33 have been to country C. So same logic, in my set C here, we're going to have 33 students, okay? 13 have visited countries A and B. So that would be this piece right here where A intersects B. We know that there are 13 students that have visited countries A and B. 11 have been only to country C. So let's just take a second and think about that. If we look at country C, set C right here, we're saying that 11 have just been to country C. Well, the piece in this set that represents country C only is down here, okay? Because if you think about it, if a student is in this piece right here, that means they visited country A and C. If they're in this piece right here, they visited countries A, B, and C. And if they're in this piece right here, they visited countries B and C. So the only piece that represents just country C, students who have only been to country C, is right here. So that would be 11. That's going to be useful, actually. And 15 have been only to country A. So in the same logic, just country A, okay, we would have 15, and that's going to be really useful too. 9 have been to country A and B, but not country C, okay? So let's think about that. Country A and B is right here. Oh, this is going to be super useful. The smaller the piece, the more useful it is, okay? So this is A and B and not C, okay? If it were A, B, and C, we would be here. So that's going to be really useful. Some club members have not been to any of the 3 foreign countries, so that would be out here in the universe. They're in the travel club, but they haven't been to any of these countries. They haven't been to A, B, and C. So they are on the outside there. They're still in our universe, but they're not part of A, B, or C. And some have been to all 3 countries, which would be this little piece in here. All right. How many students haven't been to any of the 3 countries, and how many students have been to only country B? So that's what we're being asked to find. And so we're going to have to really work backwards. But remember Paul's principles. The first thing you need to do is make sure you understand the problem, okay? So you need to understand that we're basically trying to figure out how many students are in each of these pieces, okay? We're given a bunch of information. We need to figure out how many are in each piece. And let's devise a plan. Well, we've done problems like this before, and we know working backwards works really well. So let's use that. Let's let that be our plan. So I always recommend reading problems 3 times. The first time, just read it. It might seem overwhelming at first, so just read it. See if you can understand it. The second time, start filling in important information. So if you remember, before I said that this piece is going to be really useful. 9 have been to country A and B, but not to country C, okay? So we know this small piece right here, country A and B only, there's 9 students. So we can fill that in, and I'm going to cross out the 9. As I use pieces of information, I'm going to cross them out. We also know that, let's go to the totals. There are 37 members that have visited country A, okay? So that means that the number of elements in A is equal to 37. Okay, I'm going to use that at some point. I can't use it yet because, look, I only have one small piece of that filled in, and I don't know this, or this. So there's no way I can figure out the other pieces yet. But I will use it eventually. So I'm going to label it. 34 have visited country B. So again, the number of elements in B is going to be 34. Okay, and Can I use that yet? Well, not yet. I only have one small piece of that filled in. Okay, but I've used my 34. And 33 have been to country C. So same logic, okay? The number of elements in C is going to be 33. All right, I can't use that at all yet because look, I have none of these pieces filled in. So I can't really use that yet, but it will come in handy at some point. All right, 13 have visited countries A and B. Let's see if that helps us. So remember, we're sort of working backwards, but we might have to jump around a bit. So let's see if this helps us. 13 have visited countries A and B. Okay, so country A and B. So that means this chunk should have 13, right? That actually is helpful because I've already accounted for 9 of those 13, okay? So I can figure out this smaller piece really easily. So if I've already accounted for 9 of those students, how many are going to be in that smaller piece, right? 4, because 9 plus 4 is 13. So that was actually really helpful, okay? Let's see if I can use this 11 now. 11 have been only to country C. So that's this piece right here. We've got 11. Well, it's not really going to help us yet, but we can leave it labeled. So I've used that. And 15 have only been to country A. So again, just like before, just country A is right here. Well, I can label that. I know that 15 have been to country A. Aha! And that actually did help us because look, you guys, if we zoom in on set A, so it's sort of like a combination of working backwards and guess and check, right? Look at that. I now have all but one piece accounted for. And I know how many students should have just visited country A. It's 37, okay? So I can figure out this last piece. So what's 15 plus 9? That's 24, right? Yeah, and 24 plus 4 is 28. So I have 28 of those 37 students accounted for, so that means there's got to be 9 students in this piece because 28 plus 9 is going to give me 37. All right? And now let's take a step back and think about, okay, now that I have this piece filled in right here, does that help me? And pause the video, see if you see it, okay? You see if you can see how that helps you. So pause it and look. So hopefully when you pause it, you see, oh my gosh, that does help me now because I have all but this one small piece accounted for country C. And I know how many I need in total for country C. I need 33. So let's see how many I have accounted for. 9 plus 11, that's 20. And 20 plus 4 is 24. So that means I need 9 in this piece to get me to 33. All right. Whoops. Didn't mean to erase my 9 there. And if you need to, pause and use a calculator to check my work. And now, again, pause the video and see if you can figure out how that helped us. So hopefully you could see that now we can zoom in to country B because we have all but this one piece figured out. So if there's 34 students in total who visited country B, we can figure this piece out because we have 9 plus 9, which is 18, plus 4, which is 22 students already accounted for. So that means, let's see, to go from 22 to 34, we would need 12 more. So there's got to be 12 students. All right. So now we've figured out all students in these pieces for sets A, B, and C, but we can't forget about our universe. Okay. There are some students who have not been to any countries. They're in the travel club, but they haven't been to any countries. So they're out here in our universe. Okay. So we know that there's 71 students in the travel club. So if we add up all the students who have been to countries A, B, and C, or A, or just B, or just C, if we add up all these pieces we've already figured out, then we can use that to help us figure out how many students haven't been to any countries. Okay, so if we add up all the students who have been to at least one country, we can sort of figure this out. So let's add it up. 15, so I'm going to just start here and add up on my calculator. Plus 9, plus 4, plus 9, plus 11, plus 9, plus 12. That gives me 69 students, and I'd probably double check that, which means there's got to be 2 students out here in our universe who they're in the travel club, but they haven't visited any countries. So this is like a combination of working backwards and guess and check. We got there. It's really useful for these sorts of problems to start the smallest pieces that you can and work your way out, as we've discovered. So I recommend going back, watching this video again, and this time pausing and doing it with me. Then go back and watch it again and see if you can sort of try it on your own with as little guidance as possible. And then go back and do it again completely on your own. The way to get good at these problems is to just practice them, and you'll start to sort of make connections with how to work with these strategies when you're doing problems like this as you do them more and more times. So this is going to feel challenging at first, and that's okay because you can handle it. Just practice. It just takes practice like anything else. So reach out if you have any questions, and remember to label what you can, start with the smaller pieces and work your way out, all right? And it might take you a few tries to figure out which piece of information to use next, and that's okay. Okay, bye guys.